What's up, everyone? Ivan Pecel here. Welcome to my road blog for January 2011. Today is January 14th, and I'm in the exotic Indianapolis, Indiana airport. I made it, but my bags did not. I have a corporate show tomorrow night in Rochester, Indiana for a company called New Holland Rochester, Inc. They're a company that, I don't know, I think they make tractors or plows or something. So I always recommend, if you can, to fly into the gig the day early, especially during the winter months. Also, if you can, try to avoid layover cities like Chicago, like Denver, places that are notorious for delays during the winter season. Had I not flown in the day before, like I said, my bags didn't make it, my flights were delayed. If I had the show tonight, I kind of would have been screwed. So, who's this man now? So I'm going to talk a lot this blog about the uses of a smartphone. I think as an entertainer and just traveling in general, a smartphone is one of the most invaluable tools that you can have. I personally have the iPhone 4S, and I think people that don't have iPhones are smelly pigs. Alright, so as you can see, my luggage made it to Indianapolis, which is pretty good, only came in an hour late. One other travel tip for you guys, I always carry a picture of my luggage on my phone. That way when you go to the baggage services, when your bags don't arrive and they ask you to describe your bags, you have an actual picture to show them on your phone so as not to be confused with anything else. I also carry a signed, autographed picture of singer-songwriter Peter Frampton from 1977. You don't have to do that. I just like it. This is exotic downtown Rochester, Indiana. This was the first church that came to be here in Rochester, Indiana. That was built in 1907. And here's the old Times Theater. They're playing War Horse. If you haven't seen that, don't bother. War Horse, more like Bore Horse. Snore Horse, because I fell asleep. It's the Walgreens Pharmacy, the original Walgreens Pharmacy that was built in 1907. Now we're getting into suburban Rochester, Indiana. My wife would really like these houses. The only way to properly describe them is quaint. Quaint. This was the original mayor's house here, the second brick building. Right here, that was the original mayor's house, built in 1907. And then we have the Rumors nightclub. It's the one nightclub in Indiana, Rochester, Indiana. Built in 1907. Where the hell am I going? Where am I going? Excuse me, sir, do you know where the Eagles Lodge is? I'm supposed to be performing there tonight. Hello? Oh, you're just not going to talk to me? Wow, real friendly. Yeah, people are real friendly here. Nay, sir. Nay. Nay. Okay, so let me go over some of these iPhone apps that I use for travel. Now, I know for a fact that these apps are all available from the iTunes Store for an iPhone. I'm not sure if they're available for, Droids or other smartphones, but these are all completely free and I use them all the time. One of the main ones I use is a app called TripIt, and what this does is essentially it's a travel organizer. So if you get an itinerary for your flights, hotel confirmation, rental car details, pretty much you get them all together and you send them to plans@tripit.com, and it organizes all your travel details and puts them all into one simple folder. Really cool app. Very good. Another app I use is called Flight Aware. And what this does is pretty much an up-to-date flight tracker. So if you want to look at delays or see, if flights are on time or if they're coming in, that's a great app to use. Another app I like to use all the time at the airport is called Gate Guru. And pretty much what this does, it tells you what food options are at the airport. So you turn the app on, it finds your current location, finds what concourse you're in, and then it just tells you what food options there are. Very cool. So when you travel around doing road gigs, you got to rent a car. There's a couple apps that I like to use. One of them is called Around Me, and pretty much what this app does, it tells you what's around you. So you can search by categories, you can type in restaurants, you can find things like, you want to know what the closest Walmart is, you want to find the closest ice cream shop. It'll just tell you everything that's around you. and then you can just click a button. It'll tell you directions, phone numbers, everything. Pretty cool. It's hard to find a mortuary though. I'll tell you that. There's an app called Cheap Gas that I use all the time, and what this does is pretty much tells you, where the cheapest gasoline is right around your area. So that's cool to save a few bucks here and there. Now, this is one of the only apps that I use that I actually pay for, and this is a GPS app called Garmin USA. And I was using Google Maps for the longest time, and that was really cool and accurate, but it wasn't that user-friendly, especially when you're driving. You'd have to keep scrolling from, once you hit a destination, you'd have to keep hitting next, and then it doesn't talk to you or anything. You'd have to constantly keep scrolling up, trying to make the screen bigger to see where you're going. The Garmin USA app, I paid $39.99 for it, and it works just like the GPS that's built into your car. It talks to you, gives you step-by-step details, and it's up to date immediately. So if you take a wrong turn, it says recalculating, and gets you right back on track. So that's a really awesome app. Really love that. I highly recommend it. And finally, one of the apps that I use all the time for travel is actually the Foursquare app. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with Foursquare, it's pretty much a social media thing like a Facebook or a Twitter, but all it is for checking in. So if you're at a restaurant or you're at a hotel, you can use Foursquare and you essentially check in. Now, the benefit to this is a lot of times that restaurants or bars or hotels run specials, and if they do, it'll say special under the check-in thing. And so if you check in and there's a special, then a lot of times it's like, hey, 20% off your meal if you check in on Foursquare, and so on and so on. So it's a cool little money-saving thing. Plus, it's also good if you want to stalk people. So I hope this blog was informative for you guys. I'm leaving Rochester, Indiana, and flying to Miami to get on a cruise ship for the next week. I'm on US Route 31 somewhere in rural Indiana, and it's a really pretty. Is that smoke?